Right, guys, wall sharpening. I'm here with Chris Phillips. How are you doing, mate?
Good, buddy. UK.
Yeah, very good. Now, Chris has been doing a lot, which is along the lines of what I've been promoting as well. So the more people talking about it, the better. For Men's Minds Matter, he brought me a gift by you, which I'm well happy with. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Buddy.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a hectic few days, to be fair. I think a group were only alive about 6-7 days ago.
Yeah.
So I'm glad work have allowed me a few days annual leave just for me to
Pot you about with it, like.
Yeah, but just reply to messages and things like that, really. Because obviously, if you set something up, you don't want to be ignoring people. So you've got to try and stay on it straight away, do you know?
So your work is quite supportive, are they? With
Yeah, I work for Sky, so they've been really supportive. You know, I suffered a lot. I was off for about 4 months last year with mental health.
Yeah.
So I've been back in work since December. So, you know, they've been great in terms of allowing me some annual leave for me to just get myself sorted and you know, do what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, like, with if you explain what you've done, you've set up...
Yeah, so set up a group. But basically what it was, I think, when I was feeling unwell, probably, I think it was November time last year, for some reason I was going to come off Facebook. I spent about 8 months last year off Facebook anyway, and I decided, like, I want to come off. It was causing people probably more harm than good, you know?
Yeah.
And then something crossed my mind. I thought, I wonder if men in the Carmarthenshire area would want a group, do you know, a private group. So I put a status up, and I think it had over 100 likes and 75 comments and people saying, do it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get it set up tonight, type of thing, you know. But with mental health, with myself, I had this idea. And when I went to actually do it, I just could not focus, even though it was quite a small task.
Yeah.
You know, just creating a Facebook group. Just could not focus on doing it. Like, I found small tasks really hard. So I put it off and kept apologising to people, saying, look, it is in process.
Yeah.
And, you know, I started speaking to people about how could I do it properly. And then I think it was, I'm not sure what day, one day last week, a bit of energy came over me. And I thought, I'm going to set it up. And if I get 10, 20 men join, great.
Yeah.
And a week later, I think we've hit 257 men.
It's good going.
When I was in the car outside just now.
Yeah, that's good going, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and it is, you know, people may not want to admit it. It's a growing problem. It's been a growing issue for years. You know, I remember when I was younger, you never heard of people killing themselves. No. You never heard of people killing themselves. And now
if you did, it was
rare, like, you know, it was rare, and it was shocking. And I don't like the way society is being numbed to, oh, so-and-so's killed themselves again, you know. And it's just like, oh, you know, oh, it's raining, you know, it's just like the weather, like, it's that common.
There's like a meme or a saying that goes around, isn't there? It's like people will kind of ignore you in the street or try to, but then they'll happily come to your funeral.
Exactly,
you know, it's like we need to...
Where are the people when
you need them?
Yeah, when you need them. You know, I learned a lot when I've been through my, you know, I've had 2 pretty bad crashes with depression. One was about 5 years ago, and the other one, I had a bad one last year. I didn't really put much content out last year because of that reason. But you know, it's a growing problem, you know, and there's ways of dealing with it. But I learned a lot. Not everybody is your friend, like, you know.
No,
you see who the real people are. You see who the real people are.
I've been quite surprised. I opened up to a lot of my friends back end of last year, and I've been quite surprised how little I've had back off them. Where it's people I'm kind of colleagues with have been absolutely superb.
Yeah.
And, you know, people would message you on social media, and you think, bloody hell, I didn't realise you cared, you know. And you definitely remember those who've been there for you, and the ones who haven't as well. You know, it could be a stigma around they're afraid of the topic. They're not educated enough in the topic, and they're afraid of what to do or say in front of you. So some people may pull away from that kind of conversation, you know?
Yeah, there's all different. I think when people, like you say, and some people can be afraid, and to a certain degree, I think, but you know, there's a lot of people I'd be like, I don't want to fucking see what my funeral if it happens. Like, do you know what I mean? You see people's true colours, you know, whether they're afraid or not. You know, you step in and help people if they're supposed to be your fucking friends. Grow a fucking pair of bollocks and step in. Yeah, you know, that's the difficult thing. You know,
especially when I think I'm the kind of person who's there for everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm the same.
People listening may disagree, but you know, if I know someone is not well, and it could just be they've got a flu or they've broken their leg or something, I'll often check up on them to see how you are, and that's just in my nature. Do you mean? I've always been like a good person, but one thing I've always had is like I care.
Well, that's the thing though. It's, you know, it's we've all done things in the past and things like that. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't, you know, stop you from growing, like,
and educating yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like I've been obsessed with like podcasts and books.
Yeah.
To kind of educate myself. So if there's a topic that around mental health that I'm not sure about, you know, I'll look into it so I can kind of educate myself. I've been recently thinking about James Smith has got a podcast, and he does a talk on a podcast, or he does videos online, and he's done something about menopause in women. But I don't know anything about that.
No, not me.
But I'd probably like to know a bit more about it, so I can understand why possibly women at a certain age behave possibly the way they do. And you know, I think it's really important to understand that when someone does something, good or bad, why they've done it.
Yeah.
You know, if someone's done a bad thing, are they struggling? Have they lost someone?
Yeah.
And it's trying to understand rather than maybe target.
Yeah,
them, like
not everybody, you know, not everybody's a bad person. I mean, you have got bad people, but there's a series of events that take place that changes that person to make them
what they are
like that. Yeah. Like, you know, but there's a path that's taken place and change of direction.
There's a part in their life somewhere where they've had a choice to make, or they could have helped themselves, and they've obviously gone the wrong way, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, when someone makes an intentional bad choice, what makes them possibly a bad person.
Yeah.
But some good people make bad decisions, bad choices sometimes, and how you come back from that, I think, is what carries you on in life.
We're all human, and we, at the end of the day.
I always say, like, life didn't come with an instruction manual.
No.
So, you know, like, we will make mistakes, but it's learning from them is what's important and is what will carry you through.
Yeah, it is. There's a, you know, and talking about it, being able to, because when I sort of started doing this a couple of years ago, and, you know, I put it out and I had loads of feedback from it, it was... People were saying it was refreshing to hear, like, you know, blokes talking about it and things like that. And it is refreshing, but I know so many blokes, they just feel like they can't.
Yeah.
It's a stigmatism.
Yeah, it's like we had our first meeting last Wednesday with the Carmarthen Men's Minds Matter. And obviously what happens within the meeting is confidential, but there was one chap who was scared. You could tell by his face he was petrified, you know. And and then he opened up. Obviously, we went first. A few of us went first, and he felt comfortable enough to talk. And I think it was one of the first times he'd ever opened up. And, and by the end, he couldn't shut him up.
Yeah,
you know, he was. He said it was a huge benefit to get to lift that off his chest, and that's what it is. I think lots of people who don't seek the advice or the help, or they talk, they carry that.
Yeah.
And I think when I was in the local authority working a good while ago now, I was off with mental health for about 6 months, I think, and I just couldn't see a way out, you know, but they sent me for counselling.
Mm.
So I had 12 counselling sessions, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah. You found it helped, like...
Yeah, it was someone who didn't have an opinion of me.
Yeah.
You know, like I did try and talk to people around me, but he was always like, you know, you don't help yourself, or...
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hear that.
No.
You know, I wanted someone to kind of put their arm around me, and this counsellor lady, and, you know, it took me 50 minutes of the first hour session to start talking, but then I couldn't shut up for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I carried on at 12 sessions, and that's something that I've always advocated. When I joined Sky, hugely advocated, you know, talking and understanding and listening to people and trying to understand what's going on in their lives. And like, one of the biggest medication for mental health is talking.
100%. It is. There's even, you know, exercise. There's a few things. There's like talking about it, opening up, because that takes the weight off you. It sort of, but you've got to, for somebody who's suffering with anxiety, depression, the anxiety of talking about it, you know, you've got to break through that wall. There's a wall there. And once you've gone through that wall, it does get easier.
Yeah, it's like between now and, you know, from when I was young, I think I probably lost around 15 or 20 friends, not just through suicide, but some have died in accidents, and but those who have passed away through suicide, you know, most of us didn't even know they suffered.
Yeah,
it was a huge shock. So yeah, I can't talk enough about reach out to help.
Yeah.
It's not embarrassing. If anything, it's the opposite these days.
No, it takes more strength to be open, you know, about how you're feeling, because I don't know where the shift has been throughout all these years. I know social media has played a big part in it. You know, you're talking about the bullying aspects for youngsters. And not only youngsters, but it happens with adults. You see these things. If I see these things on, you know, public arguments on, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, like publicly arguing back and forth, and it's there for everyone to see. It's only going to heighten anxieties, things like that, because, you know, you have an argument in the street and only a couple of people will hear. But you have a fucking argument on Facebook and everybody can see it.
I know. I let myself slip a bit. I did something similar not long ago when I went back on Facebook. Well, I had a boxing match about 8 weeks ago, and I wasn't well. Mentally, do you mean? And you know, there's some comments on Facebook, and I bit a bit. But I immediately apologised.
It's hard not to.
I was crossing myself. I was fuming at myself.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't do.
Yeah.
But it's in the heat of the moment and how I felt, and I apologised, and I think, you know, I was glad that I apologised, but I was gutted that
it's hard. It's hard not to, and that's how social media has got you, like, because it is so easy. I've probably done it, like, you know, thinking I've probably done it. I'm bound to have had a bit of a
you say something,
bit at someone, like,
you say something sometimes, and you've got to understand, and not everyone will get it.
No.
You know, so like what I said was I didn't have a direct pop, but I did have a direct pop, but it wasn't meant in the way that if it had been at me,
it came across.
How I said. I mean, the thing is, in messages, it can come across.
It sounds different the way you read it. If it was
face to face, it would probably have been a controlled, relaxed conversation.
Yes, yeah.
But obviously on social media, it just explodes.
Fuck, yeah.
And then, like you said, it's only the group that's kept me on Facebook, really, because obviously I needed a Facebook account to be able to manage the group and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said to you, when we spoke, Facebook's got, or not just Facebook, I'm just going to blame Facebook, social media in general.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of bad, but then it's got a lot of good.
Yeah, there's good that comes with it.
Well, like the group I've set up, that's been set up through people on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, you know, when people join the group and I accept them, that's a positive. But getting to that stage, they may have seen something horrible on Facebook, which could have upset them.
Yeah.
And So it's got good and bad. It depends what kind of intentions you've
Yeah.
got. But yeah, like my daughter now, she be going on to secondary school in September, and she's such a nice girl, and she wouldn't say boo to a goose. And I'm petrified of her going to secondary school.
know.
You know?
It's not nice. It's not nice at all. Like when you see them going, because they're going into such it's a different environment to what it was when we were there. Completely different.
Yeah, I think you've got to form more gangs. You know, in school with us, you had like the rugby boys, the football boys, and the farmers. So you had 3 groups of
The
boys
farmers.
in school, like, do you mean?
Yeah.
And you dare not cross the farmers, like, so you knew to stay away from them. But these days, you see so many groups of 3, 4 in a gang or group of gang, and you know, you may not look like every Tom, Dick, and Harry on social media, so all of a sudden you're different, or you're too nice, or you're too nasty. You know, there's so much out there now, and you just don't know what to do for the best. All I can encourage people is to try and be the best person they can. Be nice, be respectful, and hopefully that's enough, you know?
I know, it's just everybody, people are just... The world has changed so much, though, in a sense of years ago, there was a sense of community. There is no sense of community anymore. They've manipulated it with the outlook of becoming a celebrity has made everybody selfish.
Yeah.
Everybody's just, I want for me. I want this, I want that.
You can go back to, you know, same age as me, so you can go back to when you were kids. I mean, you live in an estate that's quite enclosed. I mean, this time, maybe not this time, but 4 o'clock 25 years ago, you'd have a lot of kids out here playing.
In fairness, out here,
it's good, eh?
It's and we say this all the time, it's probably one of the only places where the kids all play on the streets.
Oh, we don't see it.
They don't do it everywhere else, so I know that.
Down with us, like, you can barely get someone to answer the door on Halloween for the kids. Do you mean? So it's just everyone's gone to themselves.
They go back into themselves. I think it's very rare, but they do here.
That's great, that is.
Yeah.
I used to love it. Like, you finish school, you run upstairs, get changed.
Yeah.
And everyone would just come together at the same spot, and you'd be there then until your parents were shouting at you to come in.
Calling you to come in.
Like. I'm glad that I was brought up through that era.
Yeah. Oh God,
you know?
yeah. I'd hate to be a kid in this era.
That brings a lot of mental health into the youngsters. I mean, one thing, you know, once this group is set up, not set up, once it's reached, once I've got it to where I want it to be in Carmarthen, like I said, it's 257 members. Wales Online did a piece about it yesterday, or a couple of days ago, which has had thousands of shares and likes, and hundreds of shares, and people have been contacting me. The phone hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
I want to grow it into Llanelli area, and then maybe the Armaford area.
Yeah.
And then I want to try and get into schools.
Yeah.
Because you'd be surprised how many 10, 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I got parents messaging me saying they've got young kids who are struggling, and it's like, we just don't realise the problem out there.
No, like another thing is the pressures when you were in school, right? I remember being so pressured about my exams. Like, you fail this now and you're going to be a fucking bum. Like, and I just remember thinking to myself, oh my fucking God. Don't get me wrong. I still didn't do fucking well. But, you know, it's not true. You don't have to be a fucking grade A fucking student to fucking go on and do well, like.
No, I mean, for a lot of my friends who went to school, I probably, you know, career-wise, done better than some
Exactly.
of them. And I haven't got a single qualification to my name. Like, I know, just in school, all I wanted to do was play football.
Yeah.
With my friends, or out of school was play football. And the best thing that happened to me is I left school at 16 and I got a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, I had to grow up fast. I started working for Admiral when I was 19, so I was a small boy from Carmarthen. You know, I went to work in Swansea, where there was, like, you know, gay people and multicultural people.
Yeah.
In Carmarthen, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
So I had to grow up quick.
Yeah.
Which thankfully I did, but you know, I think it set me up. Working for Admiral for 5 years was probably one of the best things I've ever done. Got to meet so many different people from different areas, and it was such a diverse culture there. It was great, and I'm very grateful for my time there, because I think it really did help me going forward in life. But yeah, for me, life experience personally, people may shout at me, but I think life experience over education.
I think so. It's most of the people who are millionaires. They didn't stay in school. They didn't go to college. Yeah. They dropped out, and
different. There's something about them.
Yeah, I personally think the schooling system is all a bit of a it's prepping you, conditioning you to just be a good minion.
Yeah.
Go out and work for the big companies that we control, and these are the consequences. Like you break the rules, you get isolation. You break the law, you go to prison.
Yeah.
They don't teach you nothing about handling money, which is one of the fucking most important things I think they should be teaching people.
I shared something on Instagram and Facebook last week, or maybe started this week actually. Can't remember her name, so excuse me, but she was a young councillor from north of England somewhere, Yorkshire, say. And she basically was in the House of Parliament delivering a speech, and she was basically telling them, look, she can do these ridiculous maths questions inside out, but she doesn't know about life. She doesn't know about paying bills. No. She doesn't know about mental health. She doesn't know about what she wants to do after school. She says we get taught all this stuff, but none of it actually prepares you for life outside school. And I got into big debt after school. I think obviously left school when I was 16, worked for 2 years. Next thing I know, I'm having my bank ring me saying, congratulations, Chris, you've been 18 for like 3 months.
For fuck's sake.
There's a 10 grand loan available.
I knew what you were going to say.
There's a 10 grand loan available.
That's ridiculous.
I remember thinking to myself,
fucking let's have it.
Well, the thing is, I didn't even have much of an upbringing. My upbringing wasn't great, and my parents didn't teach me things like that. So I was like, I'll have 4 grand. And I think I went and bought a car which lasted about 3 weeks.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Then I was like, well, I wouldn't mind going to Ibiza, so I took another 2 grand. Well, next thing I know, I owed 10 grand.
And
I was earning next to nothing. And then I was on a finance company ringing me up saying, you can have a car on finance. And next thing I know, I'm debted up to my eyeballs. I'm not even 20 years old yet.
You don't even fucking know that, but that's what I mean, though. They purposely don't teach you about handling money, taxes, loans, how they work. They don't teach you any of that. They teaching you about fucking pie and shit. How often you fucking use that?
I can sing the days of the week in French, though, if that's any good.
Oh, fuck. It's stupid. But it's purposely. It's all done purposely because you feed in. They want you to just go out and feed into the system they've created. And that system is causing depression. It's causing depression massively.
Look at it, okay? People are leaving school at 18... uneducated about what they want to do with their lives. So they go to university, they get into 10, 15, 20 grand of the debt in university. Some drop out, some carry on, some can't find jobs afterwards, and all of a sudden they got this massive debt. Now that's not a great start to life.
No.
You've started before you've got a full-time job, you owe 15, 20 grand,
Yeah.
And like I didn't have that problem because I wasn't clever enough, but I was 20 grand in debt anyway. Not far off, just from people throwing things at you. And then you got to work for years then.
Yeah, they purposely do it.
Back.
They purposely try and catch you as I did it, not with a lot. I did it with something like 2 grand, and I was fucking like, oh, fucking hell, how am I going to pay this off now?
I remember walking into... John Lewis, like in Cardiff or Debenhams, and there's a woman at the front going,
offering you,
do you want a card?
Yeah.
And I was like, how much a limit? And she goes, let me type it in. You could have a 2 grand limit. I was like,
fuck.
Walk out here with Henry Lloyd or Fred Perry back in, and
they're so clever how they do it. 0% interest, righto.
And these days, when you need money, it's almost impossible to get it now.
Yeah.
Do
It is. It's just becoming, everything is just more and more and more. And with Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever others, it's all, look at me, look what I've got. Advertising, look at this, look at that. All these youngsters and are like, I wanna, it's like, that's not a normal life.
What they don't see is at the start of the Instagram post, it'll say, let's say Becky Hill, for argument's sake. They'll say paid advert. So all they're doing is advertising.
They're just advertising.
They've had money from the company to advertise it. So it's not Becky Hill wearing it. No. She's wearing it because she's been paid to it.
Lady Gaga with Polaroid. She don't know nothing about cameras.
Well, you got Katy Perry now singing the advert, the star in the advert for Just Eat. Do you mean?
Who's doing that?
Katy Perry.
Is she?
Yeah, like singing through an advert. Now, I'm not saying I doubt.
And Snoop Dogg did it.
Yeah, but I'm sure she doesn't need to be ordering Just Eat. She got someone probably.
Yeah.
She's paid. Was cooking for her, actually.
They're out eating in these fancy fucking restaurants every day.
Because she is doing it, you've got youngsters out going, I want to order Just Eat. Do you mean? And obviously, as you can tell, I order from Just Eat.
And I do, don't worry.
That's because I'm too lazy to go and pick it up, that is.
Yeah. Uber Eats is a good one as well around here.
Well, in Carmarthen, we're limited, like, so it's only about 2 or 3 on there, so you're stuffed, really.
It's dangerous for me while I'm tattooing. I'm like, oh, fucking McDonald's or what?
Yeah, it's just bring it to me, like.
Don't even have to move, like.
I know, but it's another thing that's caused us to be lazy. Do you know, so things are so accessible, such as takeaways, and you very rarely have a salad shop on Just Eat.
No, I've always said, they should do a healthy fast food. It'd make a fucking killing. It would, because there's no options, is it?
No, there's not.
Because I've thought to myself, when I have tried eating healthy before, I'm like, oh fuck, I need to get something quick on the go. What the fuck do I order? Like, you can't. There's nothing there.
Well, I was like, training and exercising and stuff. I'm like, it's not super healthy, but I was like, too tired to cook, but I'd love a lasagna and new potatoes delivered to me. Let me go on to Just Eat Indian
Chinese.
Go for the Indian then.
Yeah, when you see them, man, you're like, fucking hell, well, I'm going to have to pick something else, and you end up eating the unhealthy one.
Yeah, so I think trying to be, no one's perfect by a million miles, not even these Facebook people or Instagram people, but trying to get as close to perfect as possible is hard these days with all the obstacles in your way, and it all falls back again into the mental health category. Your money's obviously a problem for people. Even eating healthy these days can cost.
Oh God, money, Exercise. I know the gyms and stuff are expensive, and I'm saying this, and I haven't done much exercise. I have got to get back into it. But last year when I went through really bad patch, I think one of the things that pulled me through, I just bought a bike. And I was doing, after tattooing, I do 40 miles a night. And I went from, I wasn't a fit person before. I hate cardio. If ever I joined the gym, I would just do weights, and I fucking would keep away. I fucked my knees up as well. See, I've dislocated my knees years ago. So they're no good, the impact, running. Yeah. So I just bought a bike and I started cycling, and I didn't just go straight in and do 40 miles, but every day, and by the end I was doing, I'd done it for probably about 2 months, just riding back and forth from here, Ystafera, Mumbles, back.
Trekkers.
And I was fucked at the end of it. Don't get me wrong, I probably did too much, because it was the only thing. I became obsessed with just doing that to feel tired enough then to just go to sleep without overthinking.
Yeah.
And it worked, I'm still here. But it's trying to find a balance, because I'm all or nothing. With anything I do, if I do something, I'll go in 110%.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes too much.
Yeah.
And then you burn out.
And I think I got a bike 2 years ago, just after lockdown or during lockdown, and I went out and I keep on this now. I ate my first hill. I almost give the Undertaker a call to come pick me up.
It's hard going.
I think that was the last time I used it. I was like, not for me.
It can put you off,
Well, I was lucky enough to a few years playing Welsh League football for Newcastle Emlyn. Sorry. And, I was never the best trainer, but you put a ball in front of me.
Yeah.
I went on to play rugby for Carmarthen Quins and other clubs as well. And, you put a ball in front of me.
And that's but everybody's passion is different, this is another thing, is in schools, when they're telling you, what you want to be when you're going to work experience, what you want to be. I don't fucking know. Like, I'm fucking 15 years old. Like, 14 years old. You'd ask me what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
You know.
I've knocked this out, by the way. I think. Wait. Can you hear me properly?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear yourself?
I think I may have turned you down, the way.
You may have turned me down.
So
Is
the
that
first
better?
time, is it?
Is that, yeah.
Much better, yeah. I've turned it down.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but I could still hear you. You'll still hear it through there.
No, it's true. In school, I don't know, RAF I wanted to be when I was in school, until I found out that they shout at you and make you do things. And I thought, I'm not doing that. Like, and I just potted about a bit. Didn't know what I was good at, really, until like I said, I was lucky enough to get into the sales environment a few years ago and realised I could sell,
With your depression then, how would you describe, what you sort of feel when you go through it? Because, like, with me, it's just like the darkest dark. Like, you're going to bed and you're saying, like, I was literally saying, like, I don't want to fucking wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, I suppose you can call it fortunate enough to, I've never really had the suicidal thoughts. I think when I, if I go through the story a bit, like, without going too far, I classed like a bad upbringing, saw a lot and seen a lot. So I'd heard a lot I shouldn't have as a child, and experienced a lot I shouldn't have as a child. And as a child, I thought it was normal. I thought the environment. I thought the environment I was in was normal, and it was only really when I got, maybe the first relationship breakup, I didn't know how to handle it, and then obviously when I left my ex-partner, and I wasn't able to see my child often, that's when it really hit me. Like, I don't feel like I should. I'm sure I should feel happier than this.
Yeah.
So, like, I just found, and it's the same, like, I had a bad patch last year. I really struggled last year. Think I'm in a job where you lead people. I tried to care so much for other people that I forgot about myself. Run myself into the ground maybe, and took a week off annual leave, sort myself out. That turned into 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Next thing I've been off for 4 months. But for me, the best way to describe it for someone maybe who doesn't suffer, and this is what I said to Wales Online, was my head feels about 500 stone heavy. And, I find getting out of bed, like... Yeah. But what I'll do, like, I won't go to sleep till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, overthink things.
That's the thing. It just drains you.
And then I can sleep all day.
Yeah.
I'd have no problem, right, waking up at 9 o'clock, walking downstairs, having a cup of tea, and then going back to sleep until the afternoon.
Yeah, so it's like exactly the same for me, like.
And then just the thought, really, of you're not good enough. Yeah. Obviously, I've got 3 little kids, Belle, Ellie, and Freddie, so if they're watching.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be the best dad possible for them, and, I go through phases of it really bothers me that, Daddy's struggling on the sofa, but I want to take you to the beach or something.
Yeah.
But I can't. And obviously I've been called lazy, and you need to sort yourself out. And but when you're in that frame of mind, you just don't want to hear that.
No.
It's like, I like to think I give good advice with regards to mental health. And I know what I need to do. I know walking, exercise, sea dips, reading. I know what I need to do. But I just feel my head is so heavy that I can't do it.
It's not as easy as just saying do it, is it? Because it is. What you're saying is right. You're getting yourself into a rut, and you fucking can't get out of it.
Thing is, it kind of happens overnight when you suffer with depression, anxiety. It's like you can go from, like, I've got a saying in life, and that's nothing good or bad lasts forever. So when things are good, make the most of it. When things are bad, just remember that better days are ahead. Yeah. But when you're in the dark part, you just can't see. No. I mean, you go through phases sometimes of having 2 or 3 days here and there of feeling a bit depressed, and then you snap out of it, and then maybe be fine for a month, and then you'll have a bad day, then you snap out of it. And I think last year I kept waiting for that snap out. Yeah. And it just didn't snap out, and felt as if it was getting worse and worse and worse. And, obviously kind of bit the bullet, went back to see the doctor. They put me back on sertraline, 50 milligram, 100 milligram.
That's what I'm on now.
And then I was on Zopiclones to go to sleep. And then I went to doctors last Monday. Actually, they changed the medication because of the sleep aspect. Obviously, Zopiclone or any sleeping tablets are addictive, and they didn't want you on them for too long. So they've asked me to try metrazapine. So I've got to come off surgery now the last few days, and then next week I go on to metrazapine. So hopefully they'll help. And a lot of people out there as well are against medication. I mean, I can only speak from experience. I never wanted to go on any medication related to my mental health, really, but just asked the doctor, like, will it help me?
Yeah.
And they said, well, yeah. So I thought, right, okay, give me a go. So initially I was on bad headaches and didn't feel they were making a difference, but they say they take about 6 weeks to kick in. And this time round, certainly, I found a bit of a spring in my step,
A bit better, you feeling a bit better.
Yeah, I just felt a bit better than I did. And it allowed me to have the energy to start going to the gym, to start, I went days without seeing anyone, start going to the gym, start taking the kids out for a walk and taking them to the play area and getting out there a bit more and yeah, so like, I'm not 100% where I want to be. And, when I set this group up last week, it's kept my mind active. I've got big plans now to expand the group, to possibly get into schools, to go into football, rugby clubs, and give talks to them guys. And my ultimate aim is hopefully to have raised enough money to get like a mental health cafe in Carmarthen, where there's like a pool table and dartboard, and everyone, male or female, can come knowing that it's a mental health safe environment where we'll all talk about the same thing.
And if you air your voice, there's people who are willing to listen,
And that's what's important. Like, and I think, if people see people in there, they may think, well, they've taken that step.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to open that door and walk in.
Yeah.
And take that step myself. And 100% talking is better than any medication,
Oh, definitely. Like I've done the cold water therapy, and I didn't
like it.
No, I mean, I felt better coming out, but fuck it, I hate the cold. I do. I know nobody likes it, but fucking hell, like.
Do you know when the shower turns cold? Sometimes I scream like a girl. It's like when the shower gets cold. So I went in the summer. To be fair, I've only gone a couple of times, but bear in mind it was a summertime, so it was a warm day anyway.
Yeah.
A good chat with a good friend of mine, Lee Storey from Llanelli yesterday, and there's excuse my ignorance, I can't remember the name of the group, but they've got every Sunday morning 9 o'clock, apparently 40 guys get together and go down the dock, or the new dock in Llanelli, and they, if you're there with 40 blokes, you're going to be a shit house if you don't do it.
Yeah.
So I think
everybody will sort of push you to do it. Like,
when everyone says go, you just got to go. Otherwise, if you're the one standing there, I hit my leg, like, do you mean?
Yeah.
You just got to do it. So I think that's something I'm thinking of doing actually this Sunday. Thinking of just driving down there, maybe a couple of people with me, and just do it.
Yeah.
Because definitely for a couple of days when I did it before, I felt good.
Yeah.
It was horrible at the time, but I felt good. So,
like I'm trying to think when it was now. I set up like a thing myself a couple of years ago. I think it was. I can't remember what it's called. It's still on my page. It is, and I tried to set something up for anybody that needed to talk over Christmas. I set it up on Christmas Day, and it was because I knew that feeling of having depression, that dark place where you feel like you haven't got anybody. You can reach out and communicate on there. And it was going well, but I was ill then after it, and it's one of those things. You're gonna probably experience a bit of it yourself. You're gonna have these crashes, and you try and pick yourself back up. It feels like every time I get to a place where things are going good, it gets smashed back to ground zero, and I got to rebuild.
Yeah,
but you've got to keep pushing. Like,
I mean, especially with a group now, obviously. I'm kind of like an ambassador for the Carmarthen area, and obviously with the messages I'm getting, and I like helping people, and even if I'm not in a good place myself, I'd still like to be able to try and help other people.
Yeah.
And in turn, you start feeling a bit better yourself, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, on those dark days, it's bad. I mean, I don't know if, it certainly didn't affect me when I was younger, but, you know, the seasonal, the sad...
Yeah.
You know,
The weather.
Does that affect you?
The weather, winter, you know, it's dark early. I get massively affected by the weather. I've been saying for a while I want to move out of this country. Like,
I used to love the winter. I'm a winter baby, and I used to look forward to the winter because I hated the heat being ginger. And I reckon the last 3 or 4 years, I've started really struggling with it getting darker, and especially at the minute, you know, it's a nice day today. Over the last 3 weeks, we barely had a day with no rain, you know. You wake up in the morning, look outside, and straight away I'm in a bad mindset. And, you know, it's like last Saturday, I had a bit of a bad day. Like, I was home with the kids, just pouring down the rain outside, and I was like, I just don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Do you know, I
You don't feel like doing nothing, like.
And Sunday, I woke up and I went straight for a shower, straight to get changed, got the kids changed. So, right, kids were getting out. We're going out before I start.
Yeah.
Do you know, having thoughts where I just want to stay indoors all day.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was a good day. You know, so I think having a structure in your life, having a good routine, I think is important.
Routine is a very important important thing. I mean, that's, I think, why I stuck to the bike riding so much when I started doing it, because I just got myself into this routine of set my alarm for like 8:30, because I just stay in bed till about 9:30, quarter to 10, get up, do 100 push-ups. So at the start I was going for like however many I could do. So you do it in whatever it was at the start, 3 sets. Got it down to 1 set, you know, and then started pushing above that. But once that was done, then it'd be right, take the dogs out, come back, have breakfast, do my tattoos on the bike. So it was just constant like that. And then when I come back, I was drawing until late. But, you know, that routine was taking up my full day.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But sometimes you need that to stop you from being distracted and going back into yourself.
100%. I think the hardest part is the lonely times, you know?
Yeah.
By yourself. I mean, I used to love my own company, do you know? I think when things are going good, I do still like my own company because I listen to podcasts. You know, I don't tend to listen to like cheesy podcasts. I listen to podcasts where I think I can learn.
Yeah, you know, educational.
Like, something I can take from there. So I put one on the other day. I wasn't feeling great and put a podcast on. I was like, I can't listen to that today.
Yeah.
I haven't got the head to listen to that today. And but yeah, I mean, it's all about trying to get a good start to the day. There's I can't remember her name now. Female author. She wrote a book. And basically, she high-fives herself in the mirror every morning. Yeah. And she reckons that works wonders.
High five.
I know. Like, well, apparently, I mean, she's written a book about it, a massive selling book about it. Yeah. And I started doing it, and I look like a twat. So I'm in the bathroom, like brushing my teeth, high-fiving myself, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. But then I look deeper into it, and the most successful sports teams ever high-five each other more than any other team.
Is it?
So you know, the Chicago Bulls of like the 90s and stuff, apparently it's statistical. They high-five more than anyone. Yeah. And they dominated for years. So when you start looking into things a bit more, there's so much that we can do to make ourselves feel better. Yeah. I just think in the dark moments, we choose not to.
Yeah. It is. It's just... It makes you pull away from everything that helps you, you know, anything that's going to help you. It makes that fucking walk a million times harder. You know, the path gets longer. Yeah. You've got a steeper hill to climb.
I find even putting the trainers on. Yeah. You know, you've done well to get out there.
Little things.
I find it hard just to, you know, when I'd love to be able to get up at 7 in the morning, have a good night's sleep, go for a walk, come home, have my breakfast and crack on with my day, you know, but I'm the same. Like I won't go to bed, sleep till late. I'm watching TV. I wake up, have a breakfast, and then it's off I go. Do you know, and have a bad start. And
like, how do you make yourself get up and do all these things when, you know, you go into bed saying, I don't want to wake up? Like, you know, you don't really give a fuck about getting fit. You don't want to be here.
No.
You don't give a fuck about, like, you just don't give a fuck about anything. You don't give a fuck about yourself.
No, but you want to get fit, but you don't want to do what you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
It's like you want to have a good body, but you don't really want to go to the gym to get the good body. It's hard. I mean, I don't know what the key is to live a mental health free life.
Oh, fuck,
I don't think there is, and I think if people are honest, I think most people suffer with something.
Yeah.
A lot of people I speak to certainly suffer with something. It might not be much, but it might be a lot, do you know? Support. Yeah. Being supportive, and that's I'm hoping this support group now will, when I had the first meeting on Wednesday, which went well, I said to the guys there, I might be the person who set the group up and the one who will arrange the stuff and the events, but when we're together, it's our group.
Yeah.
You're
going to need people to help you out as well, I think, so...
Yeah, I've got some people on board.
Giving people jobs and stuff, I'll give them something, some sense of purpose, and that's good as well.
A great guy, you probably won't love a mention, Matthew Guerin, I don't know if you know him, he's a barber from Armaford, and his help and support and advice, like I go to him for a haircut, it's like a therapy session. It's
like you with tattoos, like,
But you've got to be these days, you've got to listen to people, do you know?
You've got to, you spend a lot of time there, I get clients in there for the full day, and I'm a very open, guy. I'll talk about anything. I'll be truthful about things, and they open up to me then, and it's
awkward if you don't speak all day, is it? Do you
yeah, it can be fucking awkward, yeah, if you get somebody who's not very talkative.
But yeah, it's hard, and I want to try and educate.
Yeah,
as I said to you, I want to try and get into places and educate them. I want to teach to become a first aid mental health instructor, so I can start teaching mental health first aid to people, so that people can start recognising if a loved one or a friend or a colleague starting to show symptoms of the depression. I mean, I don't know if you can stop it. Do you know when it kicks in?
Yeah, I think the way I describe it is, I'm in the middle of the storm and I got to ride the storm, like, because when it's coming on, it's like you can't stop the weather. If you're stuck in a storm, you can't stop the storm. No. You've got to fucking wait.
Do you find, do you have any coping mechanisms? I'm interviewing you,
Yeah.
Do you find the coping mechanisms? Like I've got, like I try and surround myself with good people.
Yeah,
who want the best for
like,
me,
I find cutting the dead wood out. Cut the dead wood out. You know who they are. You know the dead wood are. They're not the people who are there for you. Just cut them out of your life.
Yeah.
Don't bother with them.
Yeah.
It's because they'll drain your energy.
Yeah.
They're there for the things. They're there for the good things, and they want to take the good things, but they don't want to be about for the bad things, and you don't need them.
I find news. I don't watch the news.
Don't watch the news. Fuck no. It's so negative. It's scaremongering. It's telling you all like I don't watch any normal TV because they'll even try and bring the scaremongering into TV programs, talk shows. It's so programmed, and it's all programmed from, they make money from bad news.
Yeah,
they make money from scaring you, and it just stays in that thing of that level of concern.
Yeah.
You don't hear much good stuff.
Go back to COVID when it first kicked off. I had my eldest daughter didn't live too far from me, so we go for a walk. But I'd stand on the other side of the curb. Looking back now, I think, what a twat, like, do you mean? My daughter was on one curb and I was on the other, and we were like, oh, we're not allowed to.
It's so stupid. And all of that's been proven now to be wrong.
I feel mugged off.
I didn't follow. I'll be honest with you. I didn't follow any of it. I didn't. I had videos and stuff banned for talking about it, and just trying to. You were looking at things from a common sense point of view with it, but that's how programmed people are.
Yeah.
So I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was about THC helping people with cancer. and he said he'd offered it to his grandparents, and they wouldn't, like, because they had cancer, they wouldn't take it because they were saying it was drugs. And I was like, you've got no other option.
Yeah.
And you're still that brainwashed that because the government have labelled it as a drug, even though it's a naturally grown fucking plant it's extracted from, you know, the drugs that they give you are more fucking tampered with. They're pharmaceutical. They're not the pure extract. It's fucking bizarre. The people are brainwashed.
Yeah, but people will say, oh, it's got to be true because of the news.
Yeah. You don't see it on the news. It's like a lot of the stuff to do with all the pedo rings and stuff. You don't hear about it on the news, really.
No.
You know, the Ghislaine Maxwell case was all, you know, oh, we're not going to air it. You're not airing it because you're hoping, because it's not on TV, people won't believe it's happening.
Yeah.
That we're not stupid.
No.
I know what they're doing, but a lot of people would be like, yeah, but it wasn't on TV. Yeah, but it's fucking happened. Why are they covering it up?
Yeah.
You know, you've got to look at it.
It's like you mentioned there now about Facebook and stuff. You've got these paedophiles and who are like commenting and posting stuff, and you got people like killing animals on Facebook, and these videos stay up. But you say anything derogative about COVID,
oh, they ban you.
Get a ban.
Yeah, I've been warned a few times, like, you know.
I mean, and it's like trying to understand. I'm the kind of person who always tries to understand, like, why they done that.
They restrict my account. They do. Facebook have restricted my account.
But you can't understand the genuine reason behind it.
Well, I think I understand it, but people will say it's a conspiracy. But you know, people also said, you know, stuff to do with COVID was a conspiracy. They also said the things with the pedo rings, conspiracy. It's all there. It's all there if you look if you look for it. You know, you're not going to find it on BBC News. You're not going to find it on ITV News.
No. It's like the COVID stuff. You know, like say during COVID, like someone had come up with a great example of that it was a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But the news don't cover that.
No.
Do you know, it's big news to maybe you and I.
No.
But then to people, to the normal person, they don't get to hear about that because
there's an awful lot of people dying every day.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of people dying every day. You know, heart attacks. What's going on? It wasn't happening before.
Young people as well.
It wasn't happening before. You know, people can deny it and make excuses as much as they want. You know, kids and stuff. You know, you didn't see it. You didn't used to see it. And again, you didn't see this with depression but until you've been in that situation where you've had a breakdown and you're trying to get help and you're asking the doctors, you can't see the doctor face to face and then you've got to, while you're in a state of being fucking suicidal, trying to ring the doctor, which you can't get through to for days.
Yeah.
And then when you finally do get through, you can't see them face to face. It's a phone call. And then they'll just say, right, take these antidepressants. They may make you worse before they make you better. I can't fucking get any worse.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Like, I hear that all the time. I've been really lucky with my doctors because I suffer with Crohn's disease. So I've had Crohn's disease now for 11 years.
For
11 years. So I think because my immune system is quite bad, but it's obviously not on my file to say you need to be seen, you know. But so I'm quite lucky, but you know, people I know and stuff exactly the same as you, and they're like, "How would you get to the doctor?"
It's so
like, well,
difficult.
Because I'm ill, like, you know.
It's so difficult. It's you know, and it's not coming from the lower part of the NHS because, you know, all the people who are working in the NHS and stuff, they're doing their jobs and they're doing their best. You know, they haven't got the numbers there, and you know they're struggling.
Yeah.
They're not getting the fundings that they need, and all these other different, you know, reasons. But from the top down, they know what they're doing. Like, you know, all of these treatments are all, oh, you take this tablet every day, you're on it for the rest of your life. They're not looking at fucking curing anything.
No.
You know, cancer is all, it's all just like...
Well, there's a cure for cancer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking cannabis, mate. You know, I'm telling you, they've suppressed it for so long now. They trying not to legalize it because they know that the number's up, and then everybody's. But even though the number will be up, people still will be like, oh no, they've only just figured it out. No, fuck off, innit? You know, it's corrupt, mate. At the end of the day, the system's corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, I can't speak highly enough of the NHS staff. Do you know, like
I got treated. Well, I had a motorbike crash in August. Come off my motocross bike and punctured my lung and titanium plates in my back. And you know, the NHS staff were amazing. You know, in fairness, you know, there's a couple of odd ones, like, but overall they were all you know, they were all good. They, you know, they took care of us, and we're so lucky to have that system. But the point that I don't like is, like, we pay tax into that, right, to keep this NHS going every year, right? Because some people are like, oh yeah, well, America hasn't got it. Yeah, but we are paying taxes to keep this going. They're not giving it to us. You don't get fuck all for free.
No, of course not.
So this is why when I see they're bringing all these people, and they're saying about, and I've got nothing against people coming from other countries over here, but when you see you know, these people are escaping, and you see these videos of these blokes on boats, right? There's no women and children there. They're all fucking, they look like gang fucking, you know, they're not, they don't even look like normal fucking blokes. They look like gangs, right? Blasting music, dancing, coming over here, and then filling our fucking NHS system, which they've never paid tax into. And then when my grandmother's just passed away, is waiting, you know, she broke her hip a year ago. When she was waiting for an ambulance, she had to wait something like 17 hours for an ambulance, and then like 24 hours in the back of the ambulance for a bed.
Yeah, it's mad.
It shouldn't be fucking happening.
Yeah, do you think that could be because the government, the NHS, are too scared of, you know, not being diverse enough? They want to be seen to avoiding the complaints about race. And
I think the NHS are just do what they can, and when the people come in, they obviously, it doesn't matter what, you know, who they are, you know, which is the way it should be. They see to whoever needs the help, which they are doing the right thing. But obviously, those people are coming over here to use this system. They've never paid into it. They've never ever paid into it. So when we go to use it, we can't get seen. That's what's happening. You know? So the NHS, it's not like the NHS are doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. They're just seeing the people who are coming in.
Doing what they're meant to be
doing.
You
know, and it goes for the same for, you know, houses. There's people, you know, there's people who've served in the army and stuff who are homeless. They got post-traumatic stress. They've got mental illness from, you know, what they've seen and what they've gone through. They've been put back into normal life, and they can't look after themselves. They're so ill, and they're fucking homeless on the streets. That shouldn't be happening.
And I think this again boils down to an effect of mental health.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know, like my shoulder, for argument's sake, I dislocated my shoulder, ruptured my pec, and I tore my bicep in the boxing fight, and been waiting to go fracture clinic. You know, went there once, and my appointment was at 10 o'clock. And I turned up there like 5 to 10, and they're like, oh, the doctor's 2 hours behind. I'm like, how can he be 2 hours behind already? Like, do you mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I had the kids with me and stuff, and, you know, rescheduled for another appointment, and then I couldn't make that because the kids are unwell, so I rang them to cancel, and I haven't had an appointment since. I had a letter, sorry, to say, we take it, you don't want to be seen anymore. I'm like, when did I say that?
Yeah.
Do you mean?
They just sent it out, like.
But the thing is, I enjoyed my weight training and stuff. I was getting really into my training, and now I can't barely lift my arm up, do you know? And it's like, that's having an effect on me because I can't go and train to release endorphins and stuff. I know people say, oh, there's other things you can do. It's like, yeah, but I don't enjoy doing other things. So like what you're saying there now about, you know, people being seen and treated, and that has a massive effect on your mind.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Massively. Like, you know, I'll give another example. I went to the doctors. I don't. They're so bad to deal with, my doctors, right? I don't ring them unless there's something really fucking wrong. Because when I was really ill with the depression the first time, it was because of a mistake there then, where they overdosed me on thyroxine for 2 years, which caused me to be fucking massively fucking ill with depression, suicidal thoughts, mental breakdown. So that was their fault, right? So going further on again then, I was really ill again. I was having like winded feeling in my chest. I was like, oh, fuck. You know, I felt my stomach, I thought it was. I was like, I'm having like a fucking winded feeling in my stomach. So Stacey was like, you've got to go. And, do you know, trying to get them, they turned me away. They basically said to me, oh, you're not in the danger category for cancer. I buried my mate the week before, was my age, with bowel cancer. I said, I've just buried my mate. What are you talking about? You know, they're not even going to check you out. They just palm you off. And I was talking to somebody yesterday. They'd done the same to her husband. And he's, terminal now. And it's happening everywhere. And COVID, it's even fucking worse. How many people did they turn away, you know, from having these life-saving operations? How many lives were lost?
Another year extended, you know, again, plus, wasn't it?
But those lives that were lost went down as COVID deaths, and that's not the truth.
No.
It's not the truth, you know. No. It's corrupt, you know, and I find it amazing that people can't see it, because people will be like, you know, people will probably get to this point and turn off, you know, to a certain degree, because they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. But it's true. It's the fucking reality of it. It's true,
and the more research you do looking into it, and the more you start hearing about it, you think, got a point, like, June.
I speak to people about, you know, I think people, but this is what they're doing in schools, or they're programming people. Like, I don't know if you know what's going on at the minute with what they're teaching kids in schools with transgenders, non-binaries.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be teaching kids all of this shit.
No.
These kids don't even know what the fuck it is, half of them, and then at the most impressionable time, where their brains are sponges, you're going to throw in all. It's not normal. Like,
it's even like religion. Like, you know, I'm not against religion at all.
No,
but it's like, you should give the child a choice.
Exactly.
If the parent wants them to learn about it. I mean, it's great at Christmas time with, you know, the Jesus and stuff like that, and, you know, it kind of adds to it, I suppose. But there comes a point where it's like, does my child need to know?
You don't need to know about religions. You don't need to know about sexuality. You don't need to know about transgenders.
Just let them be kids.
They certainly don't need to know about non-binaries. You know, you're talking about trying to change everybody for a small percentage of people.
Yeah.
You know, they're even trying to normalise paedophiles now.
Yeah.
They're calling them MAPs, right? Minor attractive persons. And they're telling kids in school it's offensive to call them nonces or pedos. We call them MAPs. Now, I'm sorry, right? That shit is ridiculous. Like, this is what they're trying to do now. They started doing it in some places in America, and I think they're starting to do it here. And they passed it, because a load of people were fighting against it recently, and it went to court, and you're never going to win in the courts. It's all run by one system, though, and this is the point I'm getting at. Like when you said about the NHS, it's nothing to do with the NHS. It's to do with our government.
Of course it is.
The government is allowing them in, and they're allowing it to flood our system. And then what they'll do is crash the NHS system. They'll say then we've all got to go private. Do you think we'll get any money back for the tax for that? No. They'll make more money then from everybody having to go private, while still it's a money. Everything boils down to money.
Yeah, and that's why you look at COVID. That, you know, strangely enough, the richer got richer.
Of course they did.
The rich got richer, and the poor got poorer. I mean, you look at like Jeff Bezos and all them now.
Yeah.
I don't know how many, but quadrupled their worth.
Well,
you know?
look at like Matt Hancock, all of them. Boris Johnson, they all had shares in all these mass companies, and it's corrupt.
Man. Yeah, of course it is.
They know, you know, and then when they were forcing that, what was that app thing where you had to do the
track
app?
And trace.
They had money involved in that, and they were making everybody use it. It's like, if you can't see now the corruption in that, there's something fucking wrong with you, because that's like me. You know, I'm trying to think of an example to put it to tattoos, but if I was like tattooing somebody, and then you try and say, right, well, you can only use this, you're not allowed to use anything else, and I'm the only person that owns it. It's corrupt.
Yeah.
You know, and these people are supposed to be in charge, but I've said all along, the people that should be doing this, it should be like jury service. It shouldn't be run by one person. It should be run by a few different people, and you get sent for. That group of people come together, and it's not a group of people who are all these, posh twats who've never fucking worked in their lives, born with silver spoons in their mouths, Boris Johnson and them. They've never worked a normal day. No. They've never seen the real world. That's all they do is look after their own benefits and their best interests. Yep. They don't look at it. So it should be done like jury service.
Yeah, I agree.
And it should be done by a group of people randomly selected. This is your term. You come in, you do a year, and then
pass on the next one.
And then you pass it on. And that's the way it should be. It's the level of corruption that's gone on up there, right? I think the government should be fucking completely wiped to the fucking ground and rebuilt again.
They'd never admit that, though.
Well, of course they wouldn't, because they're losing power.
Yeah.
And somebody would probably comment, yeah, well, if we voted Tory, it doesn't matter who you vote for. They're all the same. They're just the voice. They're not the people in control. The people in control are the people that you don't see.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, they go into a room, guys with suits. This is what you say. This is what you do. This is how it works. And that is how it works. If you don't fucking play ball, you're gone.
Yeah, you're out there, like.
You're gone.
Yeah.
And you'll never be fucking seen again.
No.
It's corrupt, mate.
Well, it all adds on to us again, doesn't it? It comes back into how people feel.
It feels... I've been... Since knowing the way the world really works over the last few years, I lost a lot of hope. I lost a lot of hope and faith in humanity. I believe people will literally just do whatever they're told. Like, if they turned around now and said, right, everybody's got to go into a prison... because there's a virus out there, we're all going to lock you up. I think people will openly just walk into the cell.
Yeah.
They'll openly walk into the cell and lock the doors themselves.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen with my own eyes.
Yeah.
People can't, and it's fucking scary.
Yeah,
it hasn't given me much faith in fucking...
I'm more concerned with my children growing up,
Yeah.
And their mental health. Like you said, when we were young, you were never exposed to any of this, and I think like I said, social media has definitely played a massive part. But it's sad. It's sad to see how the world's changed over the last 20 years, and it's even sadder to think how it's going to be.
What's it going to be? It's not going to be any better unless they get everybody out the government that's in there who's put us in these bad positions. But I don't even think it's about our government. I think it's run a bit higher than that because it's global.
Yeah.
So the fact that it is, and my personal view on like what's going on with Russia now, I don't think it's what they're saying it is. It's not just about Ukraine, and I think it's more about Putin isn't playing ball with this plan.
Yeah. And
I think that's what's happening there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things. I mean, I'm very uneducated on that because it just doesn't.
It's just there's too much.
It's just something else.
There's too much to take in with it.
Start worrying about Russia flying over here and stuff.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I'm not worried about that. I mean, if it happens, it fucking happens at the end of the day.
It's game over.
Yeah, it's
like we said about the news earlier and stuff. I try and get through life without.
You don't need it, like...
What's the word? I'm trying to openly...
look at it for yourself and then come to your own conclusion. You can see what's going on. Yeah. You don't have to have the news to tell you step by step what's happening. You can see it.
I try and get through life as positive as possible.
Yeah.
And I try and avoid...
negativity.
Yeah. Unless, news and negative people, like, just leave it there, like, things. But, it is a massive problem, and it does worry... You were saying there about Russia and Ukraine. It's worrying.
It's worrying.
And you can worry yourself.
Yeah. It's you're never going to... I mean, it doesn't make a difference, and this is something I try and tell myself when I'm ill with depression. It doesn't make a difference how much you stress and worry. It doesn't change what the outcome is.
The only thing you can change are the things you can control.
Exactly.
And I've always... my old boss said to me once, she goes, Chris, why do you care about so many things that don't involve you? And I was like, I don't know, And then she put a note on my desk saying, stop worrying about things
you can't control.
And then
it's true.
Obviously I looked at it every day and every day and every day. And then eventually, like, someone will start telling me, they'll come up to me, start telling me about something. I'm like, mate, I don't want to know. I'm sorry if I come across as rude.
Yeah. I don't want to know.
I got no interest about your car.
I don't need my day ruined, mate.
Yeah, I no disrespect, but I don't need to know that your caravan's wheel went flat last week. Do you know what I mean? I just don't need to know about it. Like,
have you looked into like microdosing psilocybin?
No.
Have you heard of DMT?
No.
Oh, fucking hell. Now they reckon the scientists have studied it, and they've said like psilocybin mushrooms, even having big trips can help massively with resetting the brain.
Someone told me that the other day. But
microdosing is another one. Microdosing mushrooms. And DMT is another one. It's as strong as fuck, like spiritual experience that is. And yeah, I've done the both, like, and they do definitely help. Definitely help. But it's one of those things where you can have some people who've got depression and they've had drug issues, but it makes them pull back from hearing something like that because of the stigmatism that's been brought, same as cannabis.
Yeah.
With that, it's funny how they legalize all these like pharmaceutical drugs and this, that, and the other, which are killing loads of people, highly addictive, but they still fucking dish them out.
A friend of mine was telling me this the other day, actually, but garlic mushrooms are about as far as I'll get. I don't know. Yeah,
it's not for everyone, is it? You know, it's
again, it's something I'm not educated about. You know, I like to.
You want to look into it. There's loads of stuff about it, and the reason I say is because it's so highly linked in with mental health and depression, post-traumatic stress, anxiety.
Yeah,
it's all in that category, and that's why you bring it up. Like, you know.
Yeah, like I said, a friend of mine touched on it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
First time I'd ever heard about it. And, and since then, until you brought it up, and I'd forgotten about it. Like, do you mean?
Yeah.
And, you know,
I think it is going to be introduced in the future. I think once these sort of the bad bunch has sort of been taken away from, you know, governments, which are the ones who give the go ahead. Because they've already started legalizing it in America and stuff like that now. Okay. Canada's legalized. It's always been legalized in Amsterdam.
Well, yeah.
They've always been legalized, but it was always looked at as a bit fucking wacky out there. You know, fucking hell, it's legal. But there's massive benefits to these things, which we haven't been told because they've been made illegal.
Yeah.
So, you know, they even reckon like ketamine and things like that they're used to treat people with post-traumatic stress. There's all these different things that are used in certain they've got like retreats you can go to in America and stuff, and you'll go and you're watched and it's done professionally. It's not done like in a house party. You know, everybody's just like it's done in a fucking controlled environment, which is, you know, it's a treat. It's you and the person who's treating you, like a shaman, like they call it. But it's you know, that's the way it should have been brought into society.
Yeah. Again, it's something I'm not educated on. But
it's something for the future. I think it'll definitely be looked into.
Yeah, well, the thing is, anything that genuinely helps, I mean, genuinely helps people, then
it may help some and may not help others. But if it helps some, then
if it helps the people who don't know about it,
exactly,
it could help thousands of people who haven't got a clue about it. But you know, something's got to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make a small difference in the area that I'm from now, do you know?
I was just about to say, well, you know, you're doing something, and, you know, I've been doing something, and the more people are doing, like when you reached out to me, I was like, yeah, you know, of course I'll have you on, you know, something, it's the reason why I set up the podcast. Yeah. Even though I've had a lot of these fighters on, I've had, you know, Pancho on, I've had people on, it's the ones like where you're raising awareness. I've raised awareness for like a couple of my guests' kids who've had like you know, conditions and things, and that's rewarding to be able to do that. You know, it's about giving a platform to people. Like I've had some musicians coming on, young musicians who are showing their talent.
Yeah,
you know, Wales is stuck in a bit of and you try and do help, you know, and that's what this platform is about, really, is raising awareness, things that can help, you know. Depression, that is something that's personal to me. That's what I wanted to raise. But if there's something else for somebody else, then I'm happy to raise that.
And it's baby steps as well.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna, you know, when I set my group up, I was hoping to get 10, 20 men, you know, and maybe by now there's probably over 260 possibly by now. And it's just helping one person at a time. So if one person listens to this podcast and thinks, oh, okay, cool, maybe I'll try talking to someone.
Yeah.
Then it serves its purpose. And I think, yeah, we're not going to conquer the world overnight, but if we can keep chipping away and bring some more people with us along the way, then fingers crossed that stigma will disappear.
Yeah.
And the world can become a better place.
100%. And if anybody's listening, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It may not feel like it, right? Just remember, weather that storm, right? You're in a storm. Don't do things that are going to put you in danger while you're in the storm. So, you know, don't do drugs, don't drink, keep yourself away from all the triggers, like, you know, because you will come out of that storm. It may feel like it's the end, and, you know, and it's not the end. I've been there twice. It's not the end, like, so just remember that.
No, there's hope for everyone. You know, going on for this podcast, obviously, if anyone wants to reach out to myself and obviously to you, you know, that's a start. My inboxes are always open to anyone. Maybe that's my problem, they're too open.
Well,
but if there's anything that anyone ever needs, you know, I'll be the first to help. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to spread the message.
No problem, mate. You know, it's you're doing a good thing, and I'll get you back on. You know, maybe in a couple of months you can talk about how far you've gone.
I'll have a lot of grey hair by then.
Yeah, I probably will as well. Like, but I think it's soon. I got a couple in my beard anyway.
I got 1 or 2 strands amongst the ginger. Well, I always, when I was younger, I wish I wasn't ginger. Now I'm turning a little bit grey.
You're like back. I wish I was fully ginger again.
Bring back the full ginger, actually.
Fuck. No, mate, you're doing a brilliant thing. Is there anything else you wanted to say, or where can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so on Facebook, it's a private men's group. So if you type in Carmarthen's Minds Matter, they'll take you to there. On Instagram, Carmarthen's Minds Matter is on there as well. Email address is carmarthenmensmindsmatter@mail.com. If anyone wants to reach out. But yeah, the more people that join the group, like I say, it's a men's only group because I'm not educated enough in women's mental health. I think there's a difference between women and men's mental health. Yeah, a personal opinion, and I wouldn't feel comfortable discussing. Yeah, I could briefly touch on it, but I wouldn't feel comfortable going into detail. Yeah, but I think you know, with experience and self-education, I think I'm, you know, experienced enough to talk about the men's mental health. So, you know, find us there. Like I said, the story's been on Wales Online recently, and you know, I've have a think about maybe some of the things that's in there, and just maybe have a think about what we've spoken about today. Some of the things you can put in place. But 100%, guys, if there's anyone feeling down, fed up, or there's no way out, just reach out and talk. Not to us, but to anyone. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, mate. Hey, thank you for coming on. Right, it's a pleasure about me. This is Wall Sharpening. Take it easy, guys. Take care, guys.